two rivals and one common goal. A British playboy against a very disciplined Austrian. There can only be one world champion. Based on a true story, Rush is a film about the rivalry between James Hunt and Niki Lauda during the 1976 Formula 1 World Championship in one of the fiercest battles of all time, during which Niki Lauda suffers a life-threatening accident. Despite portraying the two races as enemies throughout the film also manages to show that these two races are not just rivals, but friends who respect one another. Starring Daniel Bruhl as Niki Lauda, Chris Hemsworth as James Hunt, Olivia Wilde as Susie Hunt, and Alexandra Maria Lara as Marlene Lauda, Rush is an independent film released in 2013, directed by Ron Howard and written by Peter Morgan. The real Niki Lauda also played a huge part in the making of this film, as he corrected any errors he found in the script and helped Daniel Bruhl familiarize with his character. In an interview done in September 2013, Niki Lauda said, "When I saw it the first time, I was impressed. There was no real Hollywood changes or things changed a little bit Hollywood-like. It is very accurate and this really surprised me very positively." In this critique, I will be talking about cinematography and sound in this film. In this film, the director of photography Anthony Mantle used about 3 dozen cameras to film the racing scenes. Many of these cameras were mounted all over the cars, resulting in many interesting camera angles which affects framing. Framing the racing scenes by having medium close-up, and extreme close-up shots of the racers on board their Formula 1 cars puts the audience right in the midst of all the action. These frames are more effective in immersing the audience in the scenes as compared to just having long shots of the cars racing on track. In most of these scenes, the height of the frames are at the racer's eye level, which puts the audience in their perspective. The variety of camera angles keeps the audience interested in the scenes, as they are not just stuck with the same old angles every time there are any racing scenes. Of course, the fast cuts in these scenes also play a huge part in doing so. These frames are very important as they play a huge role in telling the story of the rivalry between Niki Lauda and James Hunt by showing the audience their facial expressions while they are racing. The intensity of the championship battle and rivalry can be seen and felt just by looking at their eyes through the helmet visors, which are shot by the cameras mounted on the cars. In order to capture the experience of racing these Formula 1 cars from the 1970s, Anthony Mantle focuses a lot on the racers' eyes, hands, and feet. He made the choice to mount cameras in the cockpit of the cars and in the helmet of the racers so the audience can see them changing gears, stepping on the accelerator pedal, the movement of the racers' eyes, and he also included point of view shots, which also puts the audience in the racer's perspective. The finished product is simply a masterpiece. When put together with the soundtrack composed by Hans Zimmer, these scenes are guaranteed to put you on the edge of your seat. Does the name Hans Zimmer sound familiar? Well, you've probably heard of him. He's the guy that scored the current generation of DCEU movies and most recently Wonder Woman. The soundtrack he composed ties in really nicely with the intense racing scenes and also during the more intimate character-focused scenes. For example, the scene when Niki Lauda returns to racing just 6 weeks after his near-fatal accident. In total, he composed 19 soundtracks for this film and each of them are used in many different scenes. There are soundtracks specifically composed for the racing scenes and also soundtracks composed for the emotional moments in the film. Speaking of sound, the attention to detail in terms of sound in this film is staggering. Sound designers Marcus Stemler and Danny Hambrook had to source for the actual Formula 1 cars from the 1976 Formula 1 World Championship, which is no easy task, and neither is capturing all the engine noise. But I'm sure all the work put into sourcing the real cars and recording the sound of the cars is all well worth it, considering the fact that the cars sound so real and so good in this film. In my opinion as a motorsports fan, this is the best racing film out there and it really captures the entire rivalry between the two drivers very well. The actors are brilliant, especially Daniel Bruhl, as I found his portrayal of Niki Lauda terrifyingly accurate.
I'm world champion and on the verge to become world champion again.
The plot may seem unbelievable, but it all genuinely did happen in real life, and that is why I would highly recommend this film. If you are interested in watching a movie with a great touching story and exhilarating action scenes, Rush is the movie for you. It really is a great movie to watch even if you have no idea what Formula 1 is about, and that is why this movie is so good.
People always think of us as rivals. but he was among the very few I liked, and even fewer that I respected. He remains the only person I envy.